What is motivational DNA? Okay, you've all taken chemistry in high school, right? And the DNA is your genetic blueprint. And the irony is that every single one of us has the solar system in our bodies. I mean, it's pretty miraculous how we're all made and put together. And motivational DNA is something that I learned about a few years ago when I went to a Peter Lowe seminar in Pensacola. And you know, Peter Lowe puts on these big seminars with Barbara Bush and Colin Powell and Rudy Giuliani and brings all these great speakers in, and they travel all over the world. Well, Tamara Lowe was one of the speakers, and ever since I saw that seminar, I'm like, whoa, this is powerful stuff that every team needs to be aware of. Every person that has a family needs to be aware of. And she wrote the book called Get Motivated, and it's about motivational DNA. And just as you have your own individual motivational DNA that makes you chemistry-wise, you also have a motivational DNA that is unique to you and only to you. Because we have a different blueprint, because what motivates one person won't motivate another. And you can see on your handout, you have 4 motivational laws of the universe. Everyone is motivated differently. You all have a different DNA. Also, each individual has a unique and distinct type, which by the end of the day, you're not only going to learn how you can identify yours, but also everybody can come in contact with. 3, what motivates you can demotivate another one. My mother just stayed with me for 5 days, and when she came to see me, I had to prepare for 2 conferences that I was speaking at ASTD and Vector Aerospace. And I would play the music all day when I was putting my PowerPoint, my handouts. I'd play music because music motivates me, right? Anybody motivated by music? You like it? Yeah. My mother was like, please, turn it off. Turn it off. Because she is so demotivated by noise in the house. She does not like music on when she's doing her crossword puzzles. And also, growing up as a baby of 5, is that we had a very small house. We had like 1,400 square feet with 7 people living in it. Wow. And so we had one dining room table right beside the kitchen. It was kind of like an open room effect. And so to be able to study and learn and do my homework and everything, that was where I would study. And I would learn to study there, even if the dishwasher was running, my sisters were screaming and yelling at each other, TV was blasting, the dog was barking, the phone was ringing. And I learned how to be a fairly good student at that table. So here I am today. The best work of my life gets done in a coffee shop, in a restaurant, where there's action and activity. Put me into a library, I can't focus. Is anybody else in there like you like the distractions that help stimulate you? Who likes a library for concentration? Like quiet? Yeah. It made me crazy. I can't have that much silence. So just that alone helps to illustrate how different we are as far as our DNA is concerned. Now, Tamara Lowe traveled for over 10 years to over 78 countries, interviewing and surveying over 12,000 people, irregardless of race, creed, sex, national origin, socioeconomic status, whatever. She was able to pinpoint it down with all of the people that she surveyed, 6 universal motivational factors. Only 6, isn't that amazing? And you get them on a silver platter today, and you don't even have to travel. It came down to the DNA, where you've got the drives, the needs, and the awards. And these are the 6. The drives are going to be either production drives, or they're going to be connection drives. You're going to have a tendency to be more of a producer or a connector that drives you, and that's what you're driven by in life. With needs, you either are going to have a need for stability and predictability, or you have a need for variety, excitement, and adventure. And with awards, you're either going to be internally motivated, or you're going to be externally motivated. And as we dig down into this, you're going to see it very quickly. I can tell you right off the bat, I am a total connector drive, aren't I? I mean, I want to connect, feel the love. I just want to connect with everybody. And also, I love variety. That's why I'm a speaker. That's why it's hard to work for a company and be shoved into a box. Suzanne is too. That's why when somebody tried to squash her spirit, she's like, no! I actually was in a company a few years ago that tried to squish me into a box, and I developed an ulcer because my energy was so suffocated that it caused physical reaction. Yep. And so if you're doing anything in your life that's contracting you to that point, you really need to take a look at your environment. Relationships do this too. And also, internal versus external awards. I am totally an internal girl because when I first came to Destin, or Niceville, 12 years ago, I became a motivational speaker for children, and I was developing Dale Carnegie-style programs for schools. And I was able to reach over 15,000 children from 3rd to 12th grades throughout Okaloosa and Walton counties in 1 year. It was phenomenal. Best work of my entire life. Best work, no offense. How much did I get paid? Squat. It was an internal award, and that's what drove me to just strive for excellence to make a difference in the lives of children. And so you're going to be able to pick yours really fast. We have 3 questions. Okay, look at your sheet. The first question is, do you have a tendency to be more competitive or cooperative? Competitive or cooperative? If you wrote competitive, I want you to put a P for producer. If you wrote cooperative, I want you to put a C for connector. Okay, got that? Second question. Do you prefer constancy or change? If you put that you really like to have constancy, stability, I want you to put an S for stability. If you said change, I want you to put a V for variety. That you really like that variety. Last question. What would make you feel more valued at work? Sincere appreciation without getting a financial bonus? Or a bonus without appreciation? Show me the money, honey. If you put the first one, you want a sincere appreciation, please put I for internal. And if you put a bonus without appreciation, please put an E for external. And so I am a CVI. CVI. Do we have any CVIs in the room? These are my peeps. Okay, how about some of your other DNA arrangements?
Yep.
PDI.
PDI?
No, CDI.
PSE.
PCI?
PSE.
PSE?
PDE.
CVI, and here's a CSI TV show. By virtue of you having this identity for yourself right now, it pegs you really quickly what drives and motivates you. Very quickly. We're going to elaborate on that further. Now, having 17-year-old boy-girl twins, they could not be more different. And it is an exercise in this completely, because what motivates one demotivates the other. My boy is an introvert. He is thrilled to stay in his room and never come out. He's happy. He's so happy. My daughter, that would be total punishment. She could not bear it. So when they were little, and I would say, Allie, go to your room. And she would cry, no, because she didn't want to miss anything. She didn't want to be stuck alone. Give it to my son, it was an award. So you can't discipline them the same way, right? And it's kind of like the love language. When they were in 4th grade, I asked my son, honey, what do I do for you that makes you feel the most loved? You should all ask your loved ones that question, and they'll tell you what their love language is. What do I do for you that makes you feel the most loved? And my son said, when you cuddle me asleep and you cuddle me awake. His was physical touch. That child has to be touched. And so now at 240 pounds, 6 feet tall, linebacker on the high school football team, if we're in the car, I'm rubbing his shoulder. If he's driving, I'm rubbing his arm. If he's watching TV, I come up and start rubbing his back. Because this kid wants to be touched. Do not touch my daughter. She is not a toucher girl, and it made me really happy for that when she became a teenage girl. Interested in teenage boys. I was hoping she'd say the same to them. Touch me. I asked my daughter that same question, what do I do for you that makes you feel the most love? And my daughter said, when you hang out with me, when we play games together, when you help me with my homework, that alone tells me that she's a quality time girl and I need to give her attention. My son could spend careless about spending time with me. Just rub my back. So, anyway, everybody's motivated differently. So what the drives are they are internal forces that will mobilize a person to take action. And I'm going to give you examples of what these personality styles look like. Margaret Thatcher, one of our greatest world's leaders, was the Iron Lady. She was bold, assertive, direct, and driven by competition, deadlines, tasks, bottom line, competency, and efficiency. Who's a P in here? And I have all the P's. But the real P's stand up. Okay, cool. These are folks you like to put in charge of a project because they'll bring it to completion. And they're very impatient with people that are lagging the project. Yeah? Okay, connectors. Here's Ron Howard. Opie Taylor. These friendly, talkative, people-oriented. If you are a connector, you are driven by collaboration. We love teamwork. We're great team players because we want to empower and help everybody. And also, relationships come first. With Connector, if your relationships are upside down and inside out and in pain, nothing in life works. But with Connector, if all your relationships are good, oh, it is perfect. You can do absolutely anything. Needs. Needs are the core requirements that a person needs in order to be fulfilled. Stability. Who's a stability person in here? Okay, you need constancy. You are logical, organized, and dependable. You tend to like facts and logic and details. They're predictable. Consistency. I don't like being in a box. And they like set schedules and to know what's going to be coming up next. But then you have those of us who are variety.
Yay!
Variety. We're animated, persuasive, spontaneous. So spontaneous. I remember one Christmas morning, my husband and my mom was with us. He said, after all the presents were opened and we had our Christmas dinner, he said, hey, let's go to New Orleans for a few days. I'm like, okay. So, like, within half an hour, we had the car packed and we were driving away. Like, Christmas Day. I love spontaneous. Spontaneous. It's fun. My mother needs a week notice. Week notice. I have two sisters like that, too. We are stimulated by change. We thrive on change. I have only been in my house for 3 years and I'm so ready to move again. I should have married in the military because then I could have had a new house every 3 years. My grandmother, on the other hand, she lived in the same house for 65 years and I don't know how you do that. I'd be so depressed. She'd be so tired, but she loved it. We need variety, surprise, and adventure, and relaxed schedules. I don't like having to punch a clock or being told where to go and what to do. Awards. Awards are your preferred awards that you need to feel achievement. It could be the reward of something material, monetary, spiritual, psychological, but this is your currency that you need to be rewarded for your performance. I have seen people within all these company trainings that will stay in a job where they're making less money than they could make somewhere else, but they love it so much and they love their teammates so much that they would rather make less money and have that happy environment. But then I've also seen other people who are getting paid great money and they cannot stand who they work with, they cannot stand their job, but it's worth it because they're making the money. Isn't that interesting as far as those awards? Okay, here's your ultimate internal, right? Mission-minded people with the need to make a positive difference and impact others in a positive way. We are rewarded by meaningful connections, meaningful work, positive feedback, and also personal growth. Then you've got your externals. This is an extreme example also, because not all externals are like Donald Trump. Get a haircut, dude. Wouldn't you love to get a raise around?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. If he found a way to make money on a haircut, he probably would do it. I think that if he offered for $1 million donation, shake his head, and they could keep his hair, he'd probably do it. Confident, goal-oriented, and energetic. They find their greatest rewards from receiving tangibles, tangible assets, privileges, perks, public appreciation. They want everybody to know how great they are. Yeah, you know the externals. On your sheet, you have 3 lines on those circles for the zone of achievement. Now, I had desires written here. You know me, I'm passionate. But you can put drives instead to stay consistent with my program. But, right, drives, needs, and awards. Because where those 3 DNA factors overlap is where you have your sweet spot. This is your zone of achievement, where everything in your life gets easier. Any dream you have, any goal you have, if you are operating in that zone of achievement where those 3 things are overlapping, everything in life is easier. But if you're finding that you're running yourself against a firewall, bloodying yourself against a brick wall, throwing yourself against the rocks all the time with every step you take, trying to achieve your goals, it's because these 3 guys are not in alignment and you are not in your sweet spot. And so you can almost like fine-tune your engines like a system check on, you take your Toyota in and they do a diagnostic, analysis of your car to see what's broken or not working right. Check your DNA to see where you're off kilter if you want to improve your performance. For those of you that are managers, this is key because you want to help get every single one of your associates in your sweet spot. Now, Tamara Lowe, who wrote the book, she said, when you learn how to motivate others using this method, people who were different, who were once difficult or indifferent, will transform in front of your very eyes. They will become easy to work with, excited to learn, and eager to achieve. The beautiful thing is you're going to be able to start pegging not only the motivational DNA of yourself, but also of everyone you work with. And that's pretty brilliant because that helps you in how you hire people. That if a person is motivated by being really stable, predictable, and they're a producer, they're not really wanting to connect, you don't want to put them in customer service, you may want to put them in bookkeeping or accounting. And so people, can blossom the best when they're planted in places that meet their DNA. So you must learn to manage yourself before you can manage other people. Okay, you ready to hire the motivated, motivate the hired? I'm going to give you pure examples of people that represent these as well. And as we went through those a little bit ago, it gives you a backup of it. As Catherine Hepburn said, as one goes through life, one learns that if you don't paddle your own canoe, you don't move. That sounds quite different from Barbara Bush. Cherish your human connections, your relationships with friends and family. Total connector. Do you think these two women are motivated by the same thing? No. Completely different. Completely. Meg Ryan. People are always telling me that change is good. But all that means is that something you didn't want to happen has happened. She doesn't like change. Didn't she? She was an interesting career for that.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan, totally a variety guy. Variables. Just play. Have fun. Enjoy the game. Yeah. And then you've got your internally motivated Martin Luther King. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Do you think he's motivated by money or was? No. However, you have Warren Buffett. I always knew I wanted to be rich. I don't think I ever doubted it for a minute. I don't think he needs the warm and fuzzies. What about you? I don't think, a hug from a friend in the morning is going to make his day any better. Now, you can see the combinations on the bottom of that sheet. They give you the different recipes. And I had a typo on one of them. If it doesn't seem to line up, you tell me and I'll fix it later. Okay, the director. That's the PSI. James Cameron, total director. Producer, stability, internal. The visionary. Folks that are producers, but they like variety, and it's internally rewarding to them because they're stimulated by it. Oh, you've got George Patton. Or George C. Scott, either one. Both of them were the Chiefs. Producer, stability, external. The champion, this is Muhammad Ali. He's a PVE, producer, variety, external. The supporter, the CSI. You're a CSI. Yay! We'll call her Queen Latifah now. It's not kind. The Queen. Connection, stability, and internal. And here you've got a relator. This relator, Oprah Winfrey couldn't be a better picture for that because these are the CVIs.
Yes, I know.
Rock on! It's because relationships are so important. And wouldn't you love to have either Queen Latifah or Oprah Winfrey as your best friend because they're genuinely interested, they really care, and they're there for you? And then you got the refiner. She's a little bit more on the anal side. She's going to be really detailed, really organized, and she's going to let you know if you're not.
That's her. And it's
Sue
awesome.
Norman. And then, of course, we had Steve Irwin, who was the crocodile hunter.